What was the recruiting like there
Yeah.
for you and everything around it?
Yeah. So my plan really was to get into consulting, and that was, they make you really figure out what you want to do quite early, so you can
Yeah.
dedicate all the time to prep and make the transition happen. And then when we had recruiting season, I actually did not end up with any offers because I was too focused. And then feedback that I got was that, I was looking for very technical, I was looking for cybersecurity, risk consulting, associate roles that were highly technical. And I guess the technicality was really not, I didn't have the background either before going into business school to get there. But I kept my options open and decided to actually, one of my friends did get an interview from Microsoft, and he thought the interview experience was great, and he actually thought that I would be a great candidate for that role that he got an offer for, but he was, he didn't think he wanted to get into sales at the time. So I was like, all right, well, let me see. I go have a lunch with this person. And then I had lunch with somebody at Microsoft who was part of the mock hire, was also a mock hire. And that lunch just blew my mind because of the way the conversation was all about what I wanted to do, my personality and my character, rather than the skills that I brought to the table, because there was an understanding that skills can be obtained. You can learn, you take courses to get better at those technical aspects, but really was about who I was as a person and what role would be a good fit for me in terms of so I found that experience to be very unique and wholesome. And so then I thought everybody at Microsoft was as good as this person, then I would love to work here. And then next few interviews went great, and then I ended up with an offer. And it was perfect, even though it was not consulting initially. But very quickly, I got into Microsoft, and then within 2 years, I moved into their consulting organization.
Nice. And so, by the way, the mock program, for people who aren't listening, it's the program for recently graduated students, right? Microsoft Academy of College Hires. Now it's called the Inspire program, I think.
Yeah,
okay, cool,
Aspire.
Cool, yeah. Aspire, yes, Aspire. Thank you. Oh, I said it wrong. Aspire, yes. Okay, so you joined, and you said within 2 years you had into sales. And what did you do for the first 2 years? Sorry.
So the first 2 years I was actually I was a business development manager / industry strategic partnerships lead. So we had different titles, but essentially what we were doing was we were tasked with going after the 87% white space that was taken up by AWS and Google Cloud, not Microsoft. Microsoft had a 13% market share at that point in that segment in Canada. But we ended up, our task was to go after all of the, startups that were just starting to build and be born in the cloud, and also figure out large-scale partnerships that could then help us build influence to support startups in Canada.
That's a hard task. I mean, because, speaking a little bit outside here, but I mean, Microsoft is set up to serve the enterprise. And so, but also acknowledging it's super important. So to go after that customer segment, that's a tough problem to solve. But, like you said earlier, you're not afraid of a problem, went after it. And was it one of those things that you so transitioning out of that, was it one of those things that you were like, I can't do this anymore, this isn't for me? Or was it more just like, this is fine, but I want to do something else more? And so that,
Oh, it was definitely one of my most favorite roles I'd ever done. And transitioning out of that was more so, people were noticing the work that I was doing, and they were like, oh, you could be doing this, you could be doing that, right? So it was kind of more the latter of, okay, what else could I go do next?
And that became sales, yeah?
Yeah, it became sales for enterprise consulting, yeah.